Today we will study about human anatomy. So let's start with the introduction part first. Before proceeding towards human anatomy, one must know about the term anatomy. That what is anatomy? So here's the definition of anatomy is that it is the identification and description of structures of living things. It is the branch of biology and medicines. Okay, now we will proceed towards human anatomy. What is the definition of human anatomy? So it is the study of structures of the human body. One must study in this about the structures which our body are containing. So the anatomy is divided into two parts, gross anatomy and microscopic anatomy. So gross anatomy is the study of biological structures that we are able to see through our eyes. Okay, so those structures comes under gross anatomy. So certain systems are there which comes under gross anatomy, which includes skeletal system, muscular system, lymphatic system, respiratory system, digestive system, nervous system, cardiovascular system, urinary system, endocrine system, reproductive system, integumentary system, which include our skin, our nails and hairs. Okay, now we will read about microscopic anatomy. So microscopic anatomy is the study of cells and tissue of animals, humans and plant. So this study collectively called as histology. Okay, now we are able to see this diagram on this slide. It is a diagram of human anatomy. So this structure consists of skull, esophagus, lungs, stomach, blood vessels, bones, joint, nerve, large intestine, lymph nodes, limbs, etc. etc. Okay, now we will proceed to the term language of anatomy, to the topic. So the medical language is quite different with the layman language. So there are some specific terms to describe some specific features of the body. So we will proceed, we will read to the positions. What are the positions in anatomy? So number one, there is anatomical position. Okay, now first we will read about the definition of anatomical positions. We are able to see in this diagram that this person is standing straight, his eyes are facing forward, his palms are facing forward, his feet are together. Okay, so this position is termed as anatomical position. Okay, now second position is supine position. Supine position, basically it is that position in which a person lies on his back and his face is directing towards the ceiling. Okay, his eyes are towards the ceiling. So this position is supine position. Now what is prone position? Prone position basically is that position in which a person lie down on its stomach, on its abdomen. So that position is prone position. We are able to see in this diagram also that this is the prone position. Okay, now what is lithotomy position? So lithotomy position is the lying on back with legs up and feet supported in strap. This position is mostly used during delivery of baby. So this position is basically adopted by the female during the time of delivery, when she was delivering the baby. So that time she opted this position. So this position is called lithotomy position. Okay, now we will read about certain planes which are present in our body. So there are three planes in our body. Number one is sagittal plane, number two is coronal plane, number three is transverse plane. Now we will read about sagittal plane in detail, that what is a sagittal plane. Okay, so before reading sagittal plane, one must know about the median plane, that what is a median plane. So median plane is that plane in which our body divides into two halves of the body. Okay, median plane is that plane in which a person's body is divided into two halves, which is the right half and the left half. Okay, so just parallel to the median plane, just parallel to the median plane is our sagittal plane. If we are looking person by the side of the body, so that person we will call that we are looking this person into a sagittal plane. The second one is the coronal plane. What is a coronal plane? Now, coronal plane is that plane which divides our body into two halves, that is anterior and posterior. Okay, anterior is आगे वाला and posterior is पीछे वाला. So जो हमारी body को दो parts में divide करता है, divides in two halves, that is anterior is this front and posterior is this back part. Okay, so this is the coronal plane. Now third one is the transverse plane. So transverse plane is that plane which divides our body into two segments, that is the upper segment and the lower segment. So we are able to see in this diagram also the transverse plane. We are able to see that this plane is dividing the body into two halves. One is in the upper half and the lower part is called the lower half. Okay. Okay, so that's all about my presentation. Thank you so much.